Well, that was a very, very insightful feature right there. That and God bless all of the high cast, of course. Well, up next is a conversation that centers around combating hate speech and speaking to inspire humanity. Again, I will link you up right now with my colleague Mercy. She had a discussion with Mr. Davidking Etienam. He is a multidimensional speaker and, of course, a relationship coach. Let's learn all about combating hate speech and speaking to inspire humanity. Sit back, relax, learn, and enjoy.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, David.
So today we are tackling a vital topic on combating hate speech to inspire humanity. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So moving on, hate speech has existed as long as language has, but social media gave it a megaphone and a global audience. At what point did we get to this level?
Just like you said, social media gave it a megaphone. And back in the day, relationship was based on, face to face and all of that. I dealt with a person I could see face to face. And in most scenarios, it will have to be someone you have a relationship with.
Yes,
someone you've met, a friend, a family member, and all of that. But social media now exploded and turned the world into a global village where you meet people that you've never seen face to face. You don't know them, you don't know their background and all of that. And then suddenly you begin to interact with them. And back in the day, when we had that face-to-face conversation, unless you do something that triggers me, there's a limit to how much I can explode on you. But today you can just pick up your phone, open it up, and you see someone you've never met before. And simply because the person is saying something that you oppose to, you have a diverse opinion about. But again, instead of even going into the subject matter to talk about that thing that the person is talking about, you see people being triggered. And they now begin to, just because maybe somebody, like they call it transferred aggression, somebody had done something to you or said something to you, and then another person is bringing up something related to that incident, you just begin to blow up. You begin to insult the person. I can remember just 2 days ago, Argentina played a football match, and the whole internet is abuzz with Lionel Messi at his age, hat-trick and all of that, and then our other guys who are supporting Ronaldo on the other side, they come, and before you know it, there's a fight from here and there. But these are two people that are dealing with their careers, playing for their country. And then you just find people insulting each other, insulting husband, insulting wife, insulting father and mother for a game that is supposed to be something that brings us together.
I mean, they're making their money there.
They are making their money. So I just use that as an example. How did we get here? We are supposed to have seen social media as communication, as interaction, just like how we would do it face to face before this time. But we are having that interaction without relationship today. So it's just talking, simply because that person has a divergent opinion, and it's a very bad situation, I must say. Yes.
So there's a thin line, or there's a line thin between hate speech and free speech. How do we draw the line and respect boundaries?
Just like you said, there's a thin line, and hate speech, free speech. So the fact that I have the freedom and liberty to use free speech to talk online doesn't mean that I ignore that thin line. And that thin line is what I will call the place of decorum, the place of being able to have dialogue with respect and regard, irrespective of the other person's point of view or opinion. We need to understand something about us as human beings. We are all different. And because we are, as a marriage coach, that's what I tell people too, husband and wife. As I said, we are all different from different backgrounds, different training, different parental upbringing, and all of that. Now, all of this difference affects our personality, affects our mindset, affects the way we think and the way we see things in perspective. So, if we can understand that and know that this person does not have to think like I think, does not have to believe in what I believe, and in as much as we have different opinions, we can always have dialogue, respecting each other's opinion, even when we disagree on them. And if we can take this into social media, take this into our daily lives, we will have less misunderstanding. Because even when there's misunderstanding, like they say, is simply a lack of understanding, which requires the other person to add more clarity or make you see things from their point of view.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we are going to be seeing things, from different perspectives. That's just it.
So, most of us have stayed silent when someone in our family or friendship cycle said something hateful. So, at what point does passive consumption of hate speech make us participants in it?
There's a difference between being passive and not participating at all. So we see it also in marriage, where one person is quiet. They are not confrontational. So instead of getting into a discussion with the other person, they just withdraw into themselves. That's also not good, because it doesn't help relationship. In relationship, there has to be dialogue. There has to be interaction. But is being able to make sure that interaction, like I said earlier, talking about decorum, yes, that interaction is coming with respect, coming with the fact that you are trying to understand this other person's point of view. So let's get to a point where we are not withdrawn. We don't disconnect. Some people say, okay, instead of fighting, instead of quarreling, okay, let's not talk. No. We have to engage. We have to talk, but be able to understand that discussion has to be respecting each person's opinions, point of view, and add a little bit of maturity to discussions. When we see children fighting and quarreling, and then we now see adults doing the same thing, then we are seeing a lack of maturity. But a lot of times, especially when we go on social media, I like using social media as a reference point, because that's where we see a lot of this hate speech and infighting and all of that. It's the adults, the matured people, that you think should have a better way to interact, having to lose this, lose their guard and all of that. So we can be better.
Yeah,
we can.
We can be better.
Yes.
So, they said religion is supposed to be a source of love, community, and moral direction. What is the role of the church in combating hate speech?
The role of the clergy in combating hate speech. Now, when we talk about religion, it's one area that makes me sad, if I may use that term. And that is because Jesus said something in the Bible. He says, the letter killeth, the spirit giveth life. A lot of us hold on to religion just as the letter. In other words, we don't allow it to be what it should be, which is impacting our personal life experience, how we live. That's what religion is supposed to do. But rather, we see it as just the practice, certain things. And when we are all tied up in routine, the impact of what religion is supposed to actually do in us, by making us have that personal interaction and relationship with God, because religion is all tied to God. But we don't have that. Rather, it's the practice, the mere practice of it. So, where is the place of the clergy? is inspiring the real thing and not just the appearance of it. When we talk about love, love is supposed to be expressed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We hear words from the Bible saying things like love your neighbor
As you love yourself.
as you love yourself. Now, these are things we're supposed to practice in reality, not just something here on Sunday when we go to church. So, if we lack that practicality in it, then every other thing is just an act. And so, let our clergy ensure that they make us realize that it's not just the act, it's the life that we live. I think if that happens, then we will now see religion be what it should be. Maybe it's that word religion that is a problem. Because
Maybe.
yes, I like using the term spirituality rather than religion. There's a lot of people are just religious, but when there's that spirituality that makes you know that, I mean, like I usually would tell people as a marriage coach, I said, if you ask a lot of ladies now, what kind of man do you want to marry? I'm sure almost 80% of ladies, especially those who are Christians, for instance, they will tell you that they want to get married to a God-fearing man. Do you know what the meaning of that word God-fearing means? It's beyond I go to church every day. It's beyond I wake up every morning to pray. It means that I have regard. I have respect for God. And that's what true religion is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring us closer to God, where it models us, tampers and affects our spirituality and ethics and all of those things. And those are the things that need to help us walk when it has to do with society, relationship, and interaction.
Interesting. So, children are not born to hate.
Yes.
They absorb the language of their homes, their schools, and their communities. How can we be intentional about what our children are quietly learning from us?
You've answered the question.
Yeah.
Intentional. We are intentional by being intentional. Now, one thing about children is children learn more by what they see than what you tell them. And we live in a generation where a lot of times all we tell our children is what we want them to obey us in doing. We are not particular about what they see us do. I grew up at a time, there's this thing they used to say back in primary school then, do as I do, do as I say. We used to have it like a nursery rhyme. Now that is actually what it should be. Do as I do. Children learn by watching us. And if we can, like you say, use the word intentional. If we're intentional in the way we live our lives around our children, and beyond living our lives, going a step further to teach them. And that teaching, just like the Bible tells us, says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. I was talking in a boy-child program just a few days ago, and I said something. I said, teach your children the why, not just the what. A lot of times we focus on the what. Do this, do this, do this. And when the children yield to us, they are simply just obeying us based on daddy said or mommy said. But you've not taught them how to take ownership of that thing you want them to learn. So if we also teach them the why and teach them by allowing them to watch us do it, it will stick with them more. They will take ownership of those things. And even when they've left under, our roof, that child will remain because you have imbibed something into them, not just telling them with your words.